filter mask is nothing but a web application that is on one side integrated with Dynamics 365 and on another meant to be embedded inside telephony app that is used within a bank's call center department. Once there is an incoming phone call, the mask is automatically triggered by receiving a phone number calling. Based on it, the call center app is trying to identify the customer by searching a customer database inside the Dynamics 365. If there is a match, or in other words, if there is a customer having exactly that phone number, the call center app automatically provides back customer's Mini 360 view. And this is exactly where we are now and what we have on the screen. In our particular example, Robert Leon is calling to report an issue with the access to his e-bank account. Bearing in mind his phone number was in our database, the mask was able to identify him and display his data. So what we see about Robert is his main contact data, but not only that, we can also see the list of all previous interactions or activities Robert has had with the bank. So we see phone calls, emails, appointments, etc. For each of the activities, we see some basic data set such as subject, what is activity, what activity is regarding to, when the activity was created, what is the status, and who is the owner. We can also sort this view by any of the columns exposed, and not only that, but we can also filter the view again by any of columns exposed. Besides activities, we also see the list of all Robert's cases, opportunities, and even campaigns. Now let's get back to our scenario. So bearing in mind that Robert is calling to report an issue, this means that we need to provide him with the support. To record this type of interaction with our customer, we use a case entity. Therefore, there is option add case so that the end user can create a case directly from the mask while talking to the customer. What definitely determines what will be the process for case resolution and what data needs to be collected during the process is its type. Therefore, the first step for the agent is to classify the case properly. On the highest level of classification, the user can select if the case is related to data anonymization, to collection process, if it is a complaint, something related to KYC, or a question. Let's select question in our example. On the next classification level, the user is able to specify the product question is related to. So let's specify bank links. This is actually the name of the service inside e-banking. And for the most detailed classification, again, there are a couple of options that, of course, depend on what was previously selected. In our example, it's clear that access issues is a suitable classification. Besides the classification, what is also very important is to at least briefly describe what is the problem customer encounters. So let's input what Robert described. So he cannot access his e-bank account, and moreover, this happens quite often to him. If this was some kind of a question that the end user was able to answer even during the conversation with the customer, he could use this option, or actually just tick the box here, that actually would result in a case being automatically resolved. What actually we want to achieve with this is that for some simple cases, user doesn't have to go to CRM, find the case, and then perform closure operation. Since this is not this kind of a case, let's leave this box empty and save and close what we have entered. Of course, the case immediately appears on the list here. And as I said before, if you would like to learn more about the case or start case resolution process inside Dynamics 365, we can navigate to it directly from here, which is exactly what we will do now. So now we are on a case form that already contains plenty of data regarding the customer's problem. So in first section, case details, we see some basic information such as what is the case ID, title, then who is the customer, then what was the channel we got this case through, what is the product case is related to, etc. In description section, we can see all these classifications that were previously fulfilled during case creation and, of course, case description. In the middle of the screen, we can see a timeline which actually contain all interaction happened during resolution process of this case. For now, we see only this initial phone call that actually Robert made to report the case. What is also very important to point out is that Dynamics 365 provides a couple of features that can ensure that cases are resolved in standardized process and, of course, as efficient as possible. The first one to mention is knowledge base. And we can see that one exactly here since it is embedded on a case form. Knowledge base uses some data that was previously entered, and if it recognizes that some of these inputs are actually keywords, it provides here a list of articles that maybe contain some relevant content that could be helpful for the end users to speed up the case resolution process and, of course, provide the best the service in best possible way. So what we see here is two results found. One is bank click problems and another one bank on click access reset. Since Robert is having access issues, let's assume that it is necessary to first reset his eBank account. And how to do that, we see exactly in this article where the instructions are described and actually given in a format of this picture. So we exactly see what is the order of the steps that need to be performed. So now when we know what should be done, let's get back to the case form and follow the instructions. So we go to flow and find the operation to trigger to reset the eBank account. Let's confirm the operation. And now if I refresh the timeline here, I will see that one Viber message was automatically created, and not only that, but it was also sent to the customer with the code that he should enter to reset his eBank account. So now when we know that Robert has received this code, let's make sure that he really managed to reset the account. And let's actually make a follow-up call to see if everything went well. To make a follow-up call, we don't have to abandon this form, but actually we can just scroll a bit down to customer details, where actually we have his mobile number as well as his business number. If I click here on this phone, the system will actually do two things. First of all, he will make this pop-up and provide me the option to use any telephony app that I have installed on a PC to make this phone call. In my case, this is your phone app, so I will select it here, and you will see in a few seconds, I have it here, that Robert's phone number was automatically mapped here, and I'm able just to press this button and start or actually call Robert from here. Another thing that is also important is that the system presents us with a form of a phone call, which actually means that we should, of course, record this phone call that we've just made with Robert and ensure that it stays for the history. The form is already fulfilled with a lot of data. So what actually remains is maybe to enter, of course, the subject and also the description, where actually we can also insert what Robert told, and let's assume that actually he managed to successfully access the account. So let's put it also here as information. We can immediately mark this phone call as complete, and of course we will now see in a timeline, as I said, the whole conversation that was happening from the very beginning when Robert reported the issue, through case resolution, and to the very end, where actually we have the feedback that everything went well. Now the last step would be actually to resolve this case, since the problem is of course resolved. So that would be all. In this case, we saw how we can support phone as communication channel, combining it with also Viber communication channel when necessary, and of course when resolving the cases, what is very important is to have the support of a knowledge base that could provide us with some helpful content.